Channel 2 News. The polls are in. The election season is now over. Find out the winners and the losers and who will be taking office.
And certain majors in the College of Arts and Sciences are going to be trying out an upperclassmen dialogue class next semester. Find out what exactly they're going to do. Also, athletics is going to be hosting an event where students are invited to participate on a street team. Find out the information and how you can join. STN Channel 2 News starts right now. Good evening and thank you for joining us for STN Channel 2 News. I'm Scott Roberts. And I'm Joseph Shanklapur.
We begin tonight's newscast with Election 2014 wrap-up. 2 University of Hartford alumni will be in the next session of Congress. Mia Love, class of 1997, made history on Election Day by becoming the first black female Republican and first Haitian American to be elected to Congress. She will represent Utah's 4th House District. Democrat Richard Neal, class of 1976, will return to the House of Representatives, having represented Western Massachusetts' 1st House District since 1988. We'll have more on this year's elections later on in the show. The School of Communications is partnering with Career Services to offer a pilot 1-credit dialogue class for juniors starting spring 2015. STN's Ashley Kaufman has more.
The class, titled Dialogue for Juniors, Preparation for Careers in Communication, was created to assist students for life after graduation.
We'll cover a variety of topics that are very specific to doing your job search, producing a resume, considering grad schools. So it is a quite different experience from the original dialogue class that you may have taken as a younger student. And I think it's a really important way for us to get students thinking about their next steps of what to do with their degrees in communication.
The dialogue, taught by Michael Ormsby from Career Services and Assistant Professor of Communications Kristen Comforo, will meet once a week for 50 minutes and will cover each emphasis of communications.
And so if your emphasis is in media journalism, we'll talk specifically about jobs in that field. We'll talk specifically about how to get prepared for those jobs. And then we'll look at advertising and public relations, and we'll also look at human communications, or I should say comm studies.
Career Services insists that it is never too early to start researching jobs and networking. If received well by the pilot students, Dialogue for Juniors has the potential to spread to other colleges and majors.
That was Ashley Kaufman reporting. Students interested in the course are encouraged to register as soon as possible due to the limited seats available. More information can be found on our website at stn2.tv or through the School of Communications.
The Indian Student Association is putting on an event to celebrate Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights that marks the beginning of the fiscal year in India. The event will feature music, dinner, and dancing and will take place on Saturday, November 8th from 5 to 9:30 p.m. Tickets are $15 per person or $5 with a student ID. Children ages 6 and under are free. For reservations, you can call 732-476-9203 or 860-681-4056.
An Instagram scavenger hunt is currently underway to help count down to the men's and women's first basketball games of the season. In total, 11 photos of campus will be uploaded, each containing a hidden number that students must find and take a selfie with and submit by 5 p.m. the same day. Students must then tag @HartfordHawks and hashtag HawkNationDomination. A gift card will be given to the winner after each day. All 11 winners will then have an opportunity of winning a grand prize.
On November 4th, poet and U.S. Army veteran Brian Turner came to the university to read some of his poetry work. This was all part of the Fall 2014 Carden Reading Series. Turner has published collections of poetry all surrounding both his experiences and other people's experiences in war. He's written books like Here, Bullet, Phantom Noise, and most recently, My Life as a Foreign Country, a memoir. Turner served in the U.S. Army and was an infantry team leader during the Iraq War in 2003.
Okay, so now we're going to toss it over to weather with Chris DeGray. Chris, how's the weather looking this week?
Pretty good. Looks like there will be more cold weather, though, and rain coming up this week with the possibility of low temperatures. So grab a jacket and stay right here, because weather is coming up next.
George Takei's visit to the University of Connecticut and the reason why he was there.
And we look into this year's Black Friday, find out what the big changes are from last year.
Also, a man from Connecticut was reported to, get this, have eaten his breathalyzer test results. More on this after the break.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries. major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, your STN2 weather forecast.
Welcome back to the Weather Desk. I'm Krista Gray. The weather this week has been all over the place, with warm temperatures and cloudy skies. This weekend's weather may be a different story. Before we talk about this week's upcoming weather, let's discuss the weather that we had earlier today. So it was not as windy as it has been the past week. The trees have been losing their leaves because it's starting to come towards winter. So you can start expecting that less fall foliage. There has been a little bit of wind today, but not as bad as the past week has been, especially the weekend. Overall, it was a fairly nice day. Over here, there will be a low of 41 on Saturday this weekend. So make sure to have like a jacket. It'll be definitely colder out, but not as bad as it's going to be coming up this week. So for Sunday, it'll be even colder with a low of 39. So definitely grab a jacket. Possibly want to bring an umbrella with you because there is a chance that it will rain. So definitely want to make sure that you're prepared for that. So overall though, so for Friday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a chance of rain, high of 52, low of 29. Saturday, it'll be mostly sunny, but it will be a little chillier, and with a high of 48 and low of 38. For Sunday, there is a chance of rain in the morning, so if you're going to work, make sure to bring an umbrella with you, high of 54, low of 32, and it will be partly sunny though. For this weekend, there is going to be rain, but Saturday it will be sunnier, so that'll be nice. And for the Monday through Thursday, it's going to be kind of like definitely change with it going to be more sunny. There will be some cloudy days though, hopefully much warmer than it has been the past week, and more fall weather and less November weather.
So there were a lot of clouds up there for next week, but the one thing I noticed was that there's actually going to be a lot of sun out too a few days. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, definitely. Much better weather. So next day to go, definitely go outside before it starts to become colder within the next couple of weeks leading towards December.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? It seems like people are already getting ready for Christmas.
Thank you, Chris. George Takei spoke at the Jurgensen Center for the Performing Arts at UConn this past week. Takei, who is best known for his role as Mr. Sulu in Star Trek, came to speak about his career, activism, and Allegiance, the upcoming Broadway musical that he will star in. Takei is a member of the Human Rights Campaign and also serves as chair of the Council of Governors of East West Players, the nation's premier Asian American theater organization.
With the basketball season right around the corner, the University Athletics Department is implementing a street team to help raise excitement and draw more students to home games. It will consist of active students on campus who will use social media outlets to promote upcoming games and to spread Hawk spirit. The street team will also be spreading awareness for different promotions and giveaways to help bring fans to games and get them excited for the upcoming season.
We're bringing people in who have Twitter accounts with followers that are other students, and we're going to have them tweet out about upcoming games. So we want them to make it personal rather than just a scripted thing that we send out. So, if it's the rugby captain, we're going to have them say, okay, Ruggers, come out to this game. It's going to be super fun. I'll be there. Something personal. And then hopefully that'll help us get some more excitement about this Hawk Nation domination thing that's going on this year. So I think everyone's pretty excited about the basketball season, men's and women's. So hopefully we'll get some good student turnout at games.
The street team will be in action for the first home game on November 16th. If you're interested in becoming a member of the street team, there will be an informative pizza party on Tuesday, November 11th at 5 p.m. In the Sports Center, or you can contact Jenny Gobin at howie@hartford.edu.
A vigil was held in Seymour on Wednesday the 5th in remembrance of Nina Poeta. Poeta, a 17-year-old senior at Seymour High School, lost her year-long battle with brain cancer on November 1st. Kurt Miller, the first selectman of Seymour, issued a statement Sunday saying, quote, "Nina will be remembered fondly as a student who has an unquenchable spirit who will forever be with us."
Friday, November 28th is this year's Black Friday, and some corporations will not be open for business on the day of Thanksgiving. Businesses including Costco, GameStop, and Nordstrom's announced they will not be open November 27th. However, some other retailers have decided to open their doors on Thanksgiving, including Macy's and Kohl's. Shoppers will be able to get their Black Friday deals at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving night.
And on Sunday morning, a man from Greenwich was seen eating his breathalyzer results after being pulled over by a state trooper in neighboring Port Chester, New York. Kenneth DeSormness, was pulled over for drunk driving on I-95, and it was reported that his blood alcohol content was .13. When DeSormness' results were printed, it was made clear that he grabbed and attempted to eat them. He was charged with driving while intoxicated.
Taking a moment out here now. If you've ever been interested in the world of television, STN is a great way to check it out. Whether you're interested in producing, advertising, engineering, reporting, photography, directing, graphic design, or sports, we have it all. Stop by our office in Jengis Room 120G and join too. After the break, we look into the results of this year's Election Day. Find out who your new governor is in the state of Connecticut.
Also, we look into the winners of each race from states such as New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire.
And Republicans took over Congress. Find out the impact they will make on our nation. We'll be right back.
Super Pets, your new best friend, will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You're watching STN Channel 2 News.
And if you have an idea for a story you would like us to investigate or an event we should cover, tell two. Send us an email to tips@stn2.tv, or you can submit a tip through text message at 860-631-STN2. Also, get all your campus news updates by following us on Twitter at twitter.com/STN2.
Election Day has come and gone, which means election 2014 has officially come to an end. STN brought you the big elections throughout the Northeast region these past 4 weeks. We begin today with the race here in our state, the race for Connecticut's next governor.
Connecticut voters set out for the polls early Tuesday morning to cast their ballots in a rematch of the 2010 gubernatorial race. Democrat incumbent Dan Malloy versus Republican Tom Foley.
Every year I've been trying for change, and maybe this is the year that there's a groundswell in the state, and we see if somebody else can do something different.
Residents in neighboring towns like Newington and Weathersfield felt strongly about a number of issues, including taxes, unemployment, and benefits for retirees.
So I just don't think they're looking at the demographics of the state, how difficult it is for young people to live here, how expensive, and then how expensive it is for retirees to live here. You know, you have to have some reason to stay.
In a race bogged down by negative attack ads and slander, it seems as if the people of Connecticut are most concerned with getting the state back to the way it once was.
It's been a long stretch, since 2008 when everything collapsed. So we're still making our way back. And, there's only so much the government can do, but they can nudge things in the right direction.
The back-and-forth race ended in a rather unorthodox way, with Malloy making an implied victory speech without declaring official victory, and Foley conceding the race without formally conceding. Foley did concede, however, Wednesday afternoon, giving Governor Malloy the win and a second term in office.
The state had its fair share of problems on Election Day, though. Many of Hartford's polling locations opened late after voter lists were not delivered on time. The Malloy campaign even filed a formal complaint in Hartford Superior Court asking that polls remain open in Hartford until 9. A judge ruled only 2 locations would stay open past the 8 a.m. closing time, just until 8:30. The city is set to investigate this matter further to restructure the Registrar of Voters.
In Massachusetts, current Governor Deval Patrick declared he would not seek a re-election for the 2014 election race, leaving the position up for grabs. After a back-and-forth battle, Republican Charlie Baker defeated Democrat opponent Martha Coakley by a slim margin of about 40,000 votes. Coakley was behind in the polls late election Tuesday, but did not concede until the next morning.
I think the fact that it was such a close race speaks to the sort of nature of the electorate overall, which is that for the most part you have an electorate that sits on both sides of the fence, but in the end what they're going to expect out of a new administration is that we work collaboratively across the aisle and with all people of goodwill to get stuff done.
Baker will be the first Republican governor for the state since Mitt Romney, who served from 2003 to 2007 before vying for the GOP presidential nomination in 2008, then running for the White House in 2012.
Senator Jeanne Shaheen will serve another term in Washington for New Hampshire. She defeated Republican candidate Scott Brown by a 3% margin, taking 250,000 of the votes. After a brutal clash between both candidates filled with attack ads and negative campaigns, Brown conceded late Tuesday to the now second-term Senator Shaheen.
Tonight, the people of New Hampshire chose to put New Hampshire first.
This marks Brown's second Senate loss in 2 years. He lost his bid for re-election in Massachusetts in 2013 to Democrat Elizabeth Warren. Brown then established residents in New Hampshire to be eligible to run for office in the Granite State.
A landslide victory in the Empire State. Incumbent Andrew Cuomo easily won re-election in New York, defeating Republican foe Rob Astorino by a 14% margin. Cuomo commanded just under 2 million votes from the New York people, who remained firmly behind their governor to give him a second term in office.
We said that we would not be pushed or pulled by the extreme forces on the left or the right, that we would always remember the guiding star is service to the people. And the entire enterprise is about helping the student, the patient, the taxpayer, the citizen, and it's not about growing the bureaucracy or the lobbyists or the special interests. Well, we were true to those principles.
The state set a record for the lowest turnout in a New York gubernatorial election in the modern era. Just about 1/3 of the state's 10.8 million registered voters submitted their ballots.
In the race for the House of Representatives in New Jersey, Democrat Donald Norcross will be heading to Washington to represent District 1. Norcross won the seat with 57.2% of the vote, defeating Republican Gary Cobb. And in the Senate, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker was reelected after winning the Senate seat in a special 2013 election. Booker defeated Republican challenger Jeff Bell by about a 13% margin, taking 55.8% of the votes from the Garden State.
Staying with the national election, Republicans took control of both houses of Congress, creating a majority in the Senate and the House of Representatives for the first time in a decade. CNN reporter Dana Bash takes a look at the U.S. Senate and the soon-to-be head of the GOP party in Washington.
Mitch McConnell missed the president's first congratulatory call, but they finally connected.
It was a very cordial conversation. I appreciated the call.
But with political victory, total GOP control of Congress, comes the responsibility for Republicans to govern. McConnell bent over backwards to say he gets that.
I think we ought to start with the view that maybe there are some things we can agree on.
But said for him to negotiate, the president can't aggravate the GOP base by taking executive action on immigration.
It's like waving a red flag in front of a bull to say, if you guys don't do what I want, I'm going to do it on my own.
In fact, before McConnell cuts deals with Democrats, he has to contend with unruly fellow Republicans that make up his new majority, like Iowa's Joni Ernst, who wouldn't even commit to supporting McConnell for leader.
Will you vote for Mitch McConnell? Well, I am trying to get through November 4th first, and then that will be determined after that.
Neither would Ted Cruz.
Well, that'll be a decision for the conference to make, and that'll be decided next week.
Well, let me just make a prediction for you. A week from tomorrow, I'll be elected Majority Leader of the Senate.
McConnell is a rare senator who never wanted to be president, but several Senate Republicans are eyeing a 2016 White House run. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Marco Rubio. They would have to court GOP primary voters, conservatives who tend to rebel against compromise. McConnell insists he can handle them.
I serve in a body with a bunch of class presidents. They're all ambitious.
GOP control of Congress will be different. One example, Senate votes on GOP ideas for the first time in the Obama presidency. Republicans set the agenda and will hold votes on their pet issues, like the Keystone Pipeline. But more votes likely means more vetoes and more gridlock. Since he's had congressional Democrats to block GOP policies, Obama has only vetoed 2 bills in 6 years. Another promised change, more work.
The Senate stands adjourned.
Not so fast. McConnell is vowing the Senate will actually stay in Washington for a 5-day work week, just like the rest of us.
Well, in the spirit of elections, I vote that we go over to sports. See what I did there?
I second that.
Okay.
Very,
Rachel
very
Sisto's
clever.
over there in the takeover of the news department in the sports department. I think, Joe, you're up next, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, it's only natural you went last week. Now, Rachel.
Something like that. Rachel, what's up?
Well, there is no need to adjust your set. I'm Rachel Sisto, and yes, this is the sports desk. Coming up, we've got a wrap-up of the week in America East soccer, a look at volleyball, plus the Pack Attack is back. Get comfortable, because sports starts next.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 38 stolen.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And now, your Channel 2 Sports.
Welcome back. First up on the docket, America East Soccer. The men's soccer team was looking for a first-round bye, but to do it, they had to go through both Albany and UMass Lowell. Now, you saw them defeat Albany 3-2 in overtime right here on STN, so let's see if they could take down the Riverhawks. And they certainly could, posting a 1-0 overtime win over UMass Lowell. Side note, Hartford hasn't lost an overtime game in the last 2 seasons. Giovanni Sims scored the only goal in the game, his 3rd on the season, off an assist from Udi Cohen. Lowell's Homero Marias had 5 shots, 3 on goal, and Austin Kroll made 5 saves, only giving up the 1 goal. Now with this win, Hartford not only posts their best league record since 2003, they also get the quarterfinal bye. So let's take a look at the standings and see who else is in the tournament. We've got UMBC sitting at the top with a 6-0-1 record. The Bird duo sit right behind them, the Hawks 2nd and Riverhawks in 3rd. Behind them, Binghamton, Vermont, and Albany, and bringing up the rear, Stony Brook and New Hampshire. However, keep in mind that Lowell is ineligible for tournament play, so the Seawolves will play as the number 6 seed. Moving on to the Lady Hawks, they were looking to get into their 9th conference finals game since joining the America East. But standing in their way were the Albany Great Danes. Did the Hawks move on? Let's take a look at the highlights. And you see here the Lady Hawks are getting ready in the huddle. They're getting ready to start off the game. Once the action starts, it doesn't take long for them to get up on the board. 40 seconds in, we've got Elise Gallipo to Sydney Spermulo, and it is good. Hartford is now up 1-0. Send it over to Chanel Johnson. That kick's a little too high. Ball's not going to help him in the tennis courts. Wind a huge factor in this game. You see Albany's Alana Brennan trying to send it down the field, and the wind says that that's not going to happen. And the kick falls short. Next shot by Chanel. She's heading toward the goal, and it bounces off the posts. Call over the officials. They've determined the wind moved the goal net back. They put it forward. Game continues. It does not count as a goal for Hartford. In the second half, Albany gets a chance to come back off a header by Alexis Schneider, stopped by Jessica Yerg. Next shot by Kelsey Luke here. That one goes just wide of the net. And Albany gets one more chance near the end of the game to come back on a shot by Leanne Miller, also denied, and that is the end of the game for the team. As you can see, the women knocked off Albany, and now they have a chance at the America East Championship. Sydney Spermulo scored her first game-winning goal on an assist from Elise Gallipo 40 seconds into the game, and that would be the only score of the day. This was also the 6th shutout of the season for Jessica Yerg. For Albany goalkeeper Alana Brennan only got the 1 goal, making 4 saves. Kiana Ruger made 3 shots, 2 on goal. And as I said, this win over Albany sends Hartford to the America East Championships. And because the Hawks are the #1 seed, the game will be right here on campus against #3, the University of New Hampshire. For Hartford, look out for Chanel Johnson and Sydney Spermulo to continue their stellar seasons against the Wildcats. Meanwhile, for UNH, look out for freshman forward Brooke Murphy. She scored 10 of UNH's 14 goals this season. Kickoff is Saturday at 3, so come out and support the Lady Hawks. Meanwhile, in other sports, the volleyball team is sitting at 6th place in a conference of 7. So they look to improve their record against 5th seed UMBC. And they were able to do just that, beating the Retrievers 3 sets to 1 set. Sarita Nethersole had 15 digs and 14 kills, and Jackie Tamburi had 15 digs and 46 assists. For the Retrievers, Sherelle Walker had 13 kills and 1 block, and Paige Miller had 40 assists and 9 digs. Next up for the Hawks is a matchup Friday night at 7 against Albany. And now let's venture off campus for a bit and take our weekly dive into the AHL and the Hartford Wolfpack. It's time for the Pack Attack. The Wolfpack are currently sitting at a 7-2-1-0 record, putting them not only first in the Northeast Division, but also #1 in the Eastern Conference. Their last game had a special 11 a.m. school day start, and it ended with a 3-1 win over the Albany Devils at home. Next up for Hartford is Game 1 of a back-to-back series at the Hershey Bears on Saturday night at 7. Now, as for upcoming games on campus, the America East Women's Soccer Championship is this Saturday at 3 at Al Marzouk Field, and make sure to support the Lady Hawks bid for the title. Also this weekend on Sunday, the volleyball team takes on Binghamton at 1.
I think calling it a big game is a big understatement on Saturday. This is going to be huge.
Yeah, this is the first time since 2006 that the women's soccer team has been in the tournament, so it's definitely huge for them.
And the men too, best conference record since '03.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic season for Hartford soccer. It definitely has.
And not to put the Wolfpack out first in the conference.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They beat the undefeated Albany Devils. UConn men's hockey too beat #3 BC. Like, that's fantastic. Boston College, they're a huge hockey school. I mean, you and I know, obviously,
yeah, exactly.
big hockey, but they are fantastic. So, great on them. It's a huge sports weekend. This is fantastic.
Definitely
this will be good.
A big week for sports.
Good to be here in Connecticut. We want to throw a special shout out to our own Ashley Kaufman, our newscast director, rather, is in New York right now. She will be auditioning for the producers of America's Got Talent. She got the call yesterday, was able to join us here, but we wish her the best of luck. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing her soon on NBC. That's going to be huge for her if she gets that.
Oh, it will be. Yeah. Congratulations to her.
Thank you. All right, so that's going to do it here for STN Channel 2 News. I'm Scott Roberts.
And I'm Joseph Shanklepore.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back here same time, same place next week.